Alright class, I'm going to give you a quick lesson here on measuring. This is a standard measuring tape or a imperial measuring tape, and it uses inches and feet. Alright, so these lines here that go all the way across, those are the inch lines, okay? And that's about as big as a thumb, as wide as a thumb. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches in 1 foot. So this standard system uses inches and feet. After the foot mark, after 12 inches, you'll see it says 1 foot. And then the numbers split. They repeat from 1 up to 12 up to the next foot, to the 2 foot mark. But the inches also continue here, so 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's, after 1 foot, it splits into 2 different types of ways of communicating the length. The tip of the tape measure here is important because in order to get an accurate measurement, that tip has to be hooked right over the end. It has to be making contact with the end of the board in order to get an accurate measurement. If you have it floating out like this, see, you're not going to have an accurate measurement. It has to be tight against, okay? So that's the important thing to ensure. All right, so you're checking that it's hooked on the other side, and then you're going to be looking at the inches. Now, in Canada, we use 2 different types of measurements. We have inches, but we also have metric. And metric is millimeters, centimeters, and meters, right? It's based on the meter. And it's a bit simpler, but in Canada we generally use the standard system because our counterparts south of us, the Americans, use standard, so we use, at most places in the world, use metric. So it's very simple to use. It's just measured in tens, and those little tiny marks on there, those are millimeters. So right there we got 20 millimeters or 2 centimeters, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 millimeters, okay? That's how you measure those. We generally are using inches. You can use millimeters if you want to. I have some tapes. However, the standard system is a little harder to understand. If you took my grade 7 and 8 class, you'll have become a whiz at this because we do a lot of work with a measuring tape. What you have to know is that an inch is indicated by these big black lines. Okay? Anything starting from the 0 point, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 300 on these tapes, I believe. Anything between the number, between say 4 and 5 here, is broken down into fractions. Okay, right here you have a measurement there. That is 1/2. Alright, 4 and 1/2. It's the longest line in between the inch marks. Okay. You have another long line here that's not as long as the half-inch line, and these are the quarters. Okay, so here you're going to have 1/4. On the opposite side here, you have 3/4. If you break this inch into 4 sections, equal sections, you get, starting here, 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. 1/4, 3/4. The length of the line tells you whether it's a quarter or a half, or the next increment we have here is eighths. The line gets shorter again. You can see how the half is the longest. Okay, the quarter is the next shortest. The next shortest is the 1/8 inch lines. So we have 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, 7/8, and 8/8 would be the next inch, but you start at the next inch. You don't do 8/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8/8 in 1 inch. Right? The bottom number of your fraction tells you how many there are in total. The top number, the numerator, tells you how many of those we're talking about. Now you can break it down one more to the shortest lines we have on our measuring tapes are 1/16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8/16 is half of an inch, right? 8 is half of 16. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are 16 16ths in 1 inch. So if I'm measuring here, to say I'm measuring to this line right here, okay, that one right there, we'll measure 4 inches because it's after the 4, but it's before the 5. So that line right there will be 4. And this is 16/16, one back, that's 15/16, so it'd be 15 over 16, 4 and 15/16 of an inch. Two little lines, those parentheses, or not parentheses, quotation marks, are the symbol for inch. Alright, you can do all the measurements in inch. Once you get up to the feet, you have to write it a little differently. I'll do an example here. Say I want to write that right there. That's 12.5 inches, but it would also be written as 1 foot dash 0, because it hasn't even got to the 1 yet. 0 and 1/2 inches. 1 foot 0.5 inches. Okay. You could also write it as 12.5 inches. Okay, so try to use this information to answer the questions.